How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Now, with Battlefield 2042 a couple months away, I figured I'd do a video going over the top 5 biggest concerns that I have going into Battlefield 2042. Now, I've played a lot of DICE games in the past. I've played a lot of Battlefields, I've played Battlefronts. I mean, I've got a lot of experience when it comes to DICE games. And with DICE games, there's always some sort of problems that normally come with DICE games. That could be anything from bugs and glitches to microtransactions to just, I mean, you name it, patches, bad communication, just there's always a number of things that could go wrong when it comes to something made by DICE. Now, don't take this the wrong way. I'm extremely excited for Battlefield 2042. I played the crap out of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 and Battlefront 2. I've played a lot of DICE games, and I'm super stoked for the next Battlefield, but I'm not going to pretend that there's not going to be any problems with this game. So with that said, going into this list, I hope that DICE has learned from their previous mistakes in the past, and hopefully none of these 5 things make it into the next Battlefield game. So to start off this list, the first thing I want to talk about is the game being broken at launch. Now, this has happened to a number of different DICE titles. The biggest culprit that I can remember is Battlefield 4. I remember when Battlefield 4 came out, the community was just enraged because it was in a really bad state. It was broken for quite some time. It just had tons of bugs and glitches, things wouldn't load correctly, servers wouldn't work, it was hard to find matches. I mean, you name it, there was just a million different problems with Battlefield 4 at launch, and it took them a while to get things to work correctly. And it's not just Battlefield 4, it's other DICE games. Like Battlefield 5 still has glitches today, and that's their latest Battlefield game, and there's still bugs and glitches if you play it. Battlefront 2 was known for having tons of bugs and glitches, and it's not completely DICE's fault here. I mainly blame the crappy Frostbite engine. The Frostbite engine is good at making games look good, but when it comes to like the practicality of it, it just doesn't translate well into gameplay. There's always problems with bugs and glitches, and just things aren't working the way that they're intended with the Frostbite engine, and it's just always a pain in the butt for developers to work with this engine. So I don't know why they haven't come out with a new one or just completely scrapped it and started over with a new engine. I don't know, but based off of previous Battlefields, they've always had rough launches. That and a year and a half of this game's development has been during the pandemic, so you've had developers working from home, you've had like people communicating through email. You're not going to have that in-person like co-workers working on the same project together. The communication is going to be a lot more difficult between developers, and this pandemic has affected every single video game up to this point so far, and E3 was just horrible due to all the games that are getting delayed and pushed back to 2022. So let's just hope, fingers crossed, that this game has had enough polish that when it does launch, it's not going to be as broken. And this game doesn't have a story mode, there's no campaign, so hopefully with them only focusing on the multiplayer, it's a little bit more polished at launch than what we're used to. So moving on to the next concern that I have. If you haven't seen by now, in this game, it is confirmed that you can call in different vehicles throughout the map as you're playing. You no longer have to worry about the old system where everyone would just sit in the menu and camp whatever vehicle they wanted. At the beginning of matches, everybody would just rush to pick whatever vehicle came first. Sometimes you could never get the vehicle that you wanted to level up because everybody wanted the helicopter or the tank, for example, so you would have trouble getting it. People would just die and then camp the menu over and over and over. And that's no longer going to be a problem because now you can just call in vehicles wherever you want. There's different vehicles scattered throughout the map that you can just find and get into. So you don't have to worry about the menu fighting, which is a good thing. But my concern is that if you can call in vehicles, there has to be some sort of way that you can like afford these vehicles or buy these vehicles. Because if you could just spam unlimited vehicles, that would be very unbalanced and everyone would just do nothing but have, you know, unlimited vehicles. It would just be battle tanks or World of Tanks. It wouldn't really be Battlefield if everybody had vehicles. So I'm assuming there has to be some sort of like battle point system or some sort of currency you get from either playing the objective or getting a certain amount of kills or listening to your squad and helping your squad, and then you get a certain amount of points and then maybe you can call in a vehicle. Well, my concern is like with Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you guys have been following my channel, you know I've played a lot of Star Wars Battlefront 2. And the problem with Battlefront 2 was that people stopped focusing on things like the objective or helping their teammates or whatever, and everybody just tried to focus on getting as many battle points as quickly as possible. So what ended up happening was you would see like the majority of the server, everybody would be picking the officer class because the officer got the most battle points. So everybody was running around with officers, everybody had their little turrets that they could activate. And the matches just became very unfun because everywhere you go, you'd get hit by an officer turret. Officers would be buffing each other to try to get battle points to get the hero the quickest. So I'm afraid with this new specialist system in Battlefield 2042, when people discover which specialist or which combination of gadgets, gets the most battle points, everyone's just going to pick that same exact loadout. For example, there's that one specialist where he has a sentry system, and then if you stay next to the sentry turret, it will get kills and stuff for you. Basically an engineer. If he's the best one, for example, and that little sentry turret gets you a lot of points, then I bet you everyone is just going to pick the same exact specialist. And it's just going to be another Battlefront 2 situation all over again, where you see nothing but everybody using the same exact loadouts. So hopefully DICE has thought ahead, but this is just speculation. I don't even know if they have a battle point system. I'm just assuming that there's going to be one, and if there is, I hope it's balanced. And then the next concern I have has to do with the specialist system now. In Battlefield 2042, there's no longer classes. You just pick a specialist, and then the specialist can choose any weapon that they want. So you can be the grapple hook specialist and have a sniper rifle. You can be a medic and have a sniper rifle. And my concern is that there's going to be just a huge amount of snipers in this game because the maps are bigger than ever. I mean, we have these absolutely massive maps. There's more players in them. And because these maps are so big and every single class can have a sniper rifle now, I think we're going to see a lot more snipers. Because with previous Battlefield games, a lot of people didn't pick the sniper classes because the equipment wasn't very good. Well, in this game, you can have whatever equipment you want with any combination of specialists. So you could be the specialist with the grapple hook and grapple yourself to hard to reach places and snipe. You could be the dude with the sentry turret and have a sniper rifle. That way the sentry turret can just watch your back and you don't have to worry about people flanking you. So I feel like having all these different combinations of specialists with all of them being able to pick the sniper rifle and these big open environments, I feel like we're going to see a lot more snipers, and I just hope that as soon as you walk out in the open, you don't see like a million different glares from all these different scopes all aiming at you at the same time. So I just hope it just doesn't turn into, nothing but sniper battles. But the same applies to any other specialist with any other weapon combo. It sort of goes back to, once the community figures out what the best loadout is and the best weapon combination and the best equipment, everyone's just going to pick that same exact loadout. And then we're just going to see that over and over and over again. But I hope that's not the case. So up next on my list of concerns is vehicles sort of taking over. Like how I was talking about World of Tanks or Battle Tanks or whatever. If everyone can call in vehicles, and if it's 64 versus 64 and everybody's earning different points, and there's vehicles that are just around the map that you can get into and people can call them in whenever they want, I hope that there's like a cap of like X amount of vehicles can be active at one time. I hope we just don't see like 20 different tanks driving around at the same time, or there's just so many vehicles that people aren't focused on like the infantry battles, and it's just more of a focus of the vehicles. Some of these maps are so big you actually have to travel from like one side of the map to the other, so you have to have some sort of vehicle to get from point A to point B. So I hope it's just not too focused on vehicles, and I hope the infantry has some sort of really good counters to some of these vehicles. I hope the infantry can actually do a good job of taking out some of these tanks. So I hope we don't get overwhelmed with like spawning in and suddenly you see like 6 tanks on the enemy team and you just are screwed. And then the final concern that I have for Battlefield 2042 is the microtransactions. Now, they've already come out and said that there's going to be battle passes, and there's going to be a free version of the battle pass, and there's going to be a paid version of the battle pass. Now, it's EA, and like any game that comes out in 2021 and any game going forward, all these companies just lie. They say that, oh, doesn't affect gameplay and it's cosmetic only, and then somehow it ends up actually affecting gameplay. An example that might pertain to Battlefield is like maybe they're selling a really good camouflage outfit, like a ghillie suit or something. That's obviously going to affect gameplay if you're wearing a ghillie suit and then you're off hiding in some plants or a jungle. That's something that could affect gameplay, and if that's tied to like the paid version of the Battle Pass, then that's bad. That's not something that I want to see get added to the game. And another problem I have with the Battle Passes is, this is a problem I noticed with Battlefield 5, is that they like to tie weapons into the Battle Pass. And even if the weapon is on the free version of the Battle Pass, the problem with putting weapons in the Battle Pass is, like, let's say you don't reach that level, then that weapon is locked forever and you can no longer unlock that weapon. Say there's a really good light machine gun at level 70 out of 100, but you just decided not to play that much. Maybe you had a couple months where you're busy with school or you're busy with work. You just couldn't play that much Battlefield. So you didn't unlock the weapon. Come a couple months down the road, everybody finds out that that weapon ends up being like the best gun in the game. It's really, really good with the current meta, and you missed out on that weapon and you can no longer go back and get it. That's what I really like about Halo Infinite, saying that you can go back in the past and you have the ability to play towards any battle pass that they're going to have with their multiplayer. I think if you're going to have battle passes, that's a really good decision to do. I think they need to do that with pretty much all games. That would be great with Apex and Battlefield 2042. If they're going to have battle passes, I think you should have the option to unlock everything, you know, forever. Go pick and choose which battle pass you want to progress towards. Because if they put weapons and really cool items in a battle pass and then it just goes away forever, then that really sucks. So I hope they stay true to the word. I hope that they don't put any like pay-to-win items in the paid version of the battle pass. I hope they don't put any weapons in the battle pass. I hope they just stick to like weapon skins and stuff, tank skins, skins for your character, and just that sort of thing. And the battle passes better be worth it. I know a lot more people are getting used to battle passes and they continuously defend battle passes, but this is a $70 game plus battle passes. So $70 plus $20 for a battle pass. They've already announced 4 battle passes, so $20, $40, $60, $80 worth of battle passes on top of a $70 game. And it's multiplayer only. They're removing the campaign, so we're essentially getting less content than what we would normally get for more money up front plus battle passes. So this game better be phenomenal for the amount of money that they're asking of the community. But that pretty much covers all the concerns that I have based off of everything that we know so far with Battlefield 2042. But if you guys have any concerns, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And like I said, this is just good fun. This is just a conversation to have with the community. I like to do this with upcoming video games. I used to do this with Battlefront 2 back in the day, speculate about the game before it comes out. So I'd imagine I'm going to do a lot more of these types of videos here in the future. But let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to follow me on Twitch, I stream there pretty often at SwanyPlaysGames Live. And that is going to do it for this video, everyone, and I will talk to you all next time.